Inner Voice, a heartfelt chat with Dr. Foojan.
Are you a psychotherapist looking to enhance your practice? The Awareness Integration Therapy developed by Dr. Foojan Zeine is a comprehensive guide to the principle and techniques of this powerful therapeutic approach. Join the growing community who have elevated their practice and expanded their skills by embracing Awareness Integration Therapy and witnessing its life-changing impact. Order your copy on Amazon now. Do you wish to wake up one day and hit the Life Reset button? Life Reset, the awareness integration path to create the life you want by Dr. Foojan Zeine, helps you navigate crucial life areas, heal the past traumas, and cultivate fulfilling relationships and careers. Life Reset is your guide to a profound journey to reshape your life. Grab your copy on Amazon or Audible now and embark on a path to a more joyous and fulfilled life. Welcome to the Inner Voice, a heartfelt chat with Dr. Foojan podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Foojan Zeine, a psychotherapist and author and the creator of the Awareness Integration Theory. So thrilled to have you join us today for what promises to be an insightful discussion. In this episode, I chat with Dr. Behnam Bakhshandeh. He is the founder and the president of PrimeCo Education, a coaching and consulting firm. He's a seasoned business executive, well known as a dynamic writer, speaker, personal and business coach, and a trainer with more than 3 decades of hands-on experience. He quickly achieves exceptional outcomes by combining his enthusiasm and imaginative leadership talents. Behnam delivers a wealth of knowledge and a proven track record to each project, whether it entails personal development, customer-focused programs, technology integration, marketing, rethinking operational core processes, or delivering strategic initiative. Dr. Bakhshandeh earned his bachelor's in psychology, master's in organizational development change, and his PhD in the workforce education and development program in Pennsylvania State University, emphasizing on human resources development and organizational development. Dr. Bakhshandeh has authored and published 10 personal and professional development books. He has designed and facilitated 17 coaching modules for individuals, couples, public teams, and organizations, in 9 audio-video workshops and 21 seminars and workshops. You could certainly find him at primecoeducation.com. Today, we're going to actually be talking about his latest book, which is building an organizational coaching culture, creating effective environments for growth and success in organization. He is the main editor, Dr. Bakhshandeh and Dr. William Rothwell. And in this book, they have 19 other authors. We're going to talk with Dr. Bakhshandeh about how do you bring a coaching culture into an organization? What is a coaching culture? How is that a different concept than an organizational culture? And how do you bring that toward leaders in the HR, in team building? What's the benefit of that? How does that work? And I'm sure whether you're a small business owner, a family business owner, or a corporate leader, or a huge international corporation, you can definitely utilize what we talk about, and hopefully you enjoy it as much as I do. I'm actually I wrote the foreword for this book, so I'm really excited about this book, and I'm positive you'll learn as much as I've learned from all of these authors. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast, my YouTube channel, and connect with me through my website, foojanzeine.com, or any of my social media platforms. Share your thoughts with me. I love to hear from you. Now, without further ado, here's Dr. Behnam Bakhshandeh. Intentional Parenting, a practical guide to awareness integration theory, written by Dr. Jafari, Dr. Foojan Zeine, and Dr. Manoukian, 3 experts in human development, is your step-by-step guide to raising a healthy child prepared for a culturally integrated world. You're supported in parenting infants to adolescents using the latest evidence-based scientific research on parenting. Order your copy on Amazon now.
Eliminate stress, reduce anxiety, and decrease depression. Dr. Foojan Zeine's awareness integration theory has helped thousands like you get incredible life-changing results. The Foojan app gives you her evidence-based treatment in the palm of your hand. Download today.
It is such a pleasure to have you, Dr. Behnam Bakhshandeh, back on our show. We keep, I think you have, what, 5 per year books coming out, and I get
Average.
yes, and I get to have you and your other colleagues, on the show talking about different angles of organizational, coaching and culture. And today we're going to actually talk about building an organizational coaching culture. This one, I was honored and privy to write the foreword. So
Yes.
Welcome to the show again.
Thank you, Dr. Foojan. First of all, thank you for accepting our invitation to write a foreword on the book. The addition you did is really, in the beginning, shed some light on this is not just a tool, versus is the trend of thinking and mindset that make you to see the culture you are in, make you to see what you're doing. Before anything, Dr. Rockwell sent his regards. Unfortunately, given his traveling and leading the schedule, he could not be in the book. And he was my co-writer and co-editor for the book, including 19 other doctoral degrees on education and workforce education that contributed to this book. And up to date is one of my best accomplishments, because I got, just imagine, like is herding cats to get 19 professors and PhDs to do things on time, given all of their schedule and the stuff. But I'm happy that it's out. And funny thing is, it came out published on December 29th. And we told publisher, would you hold 2 days and publish it in 2024? They said, no, it's a schedule, have to come out. Okay, it came out.
And the interesting factor for everybody who is watching us is that this actually has 2 different covers. So first of all, the one I received from you and the hardcover is Building an Organizational Coaching Culture, Creating Effective Environment for Growth and Success in Organization, edited by Dr. Behnam Bakhshandeh and William Rothwell. This one is blue, right? It's all blue, and this is hardcover.
It's a hardcover, yes.
And for some people who are actually interested in soft cover, then you have exactly the same book,
yes,
An Organizational Coaching Culture, and you have this book in a soft cover. It's in black and gray, and it's and yellow. So just I don't want everybody to get confused. They're the same.
Actually, this is a change of policy on Taylor and Francis and Roderick, and we saw all of our books in 2023 and the future one that is planned for 2024, which they already marketed in Amazon. They all have the same exact design cover. And I asked the publisher, what is this about? It's confusing. And my brother's calling me, hey, your book has a different title. I said, no, that's another book. It seems like it's less expensive for them to have one standard design for all the hard covers. I think it's part of their management to save money, but it's causing more confusion.
Well, it's almost like it's almost like encyclopedia, if it's the same group that's writing the different concepts within. So it's the same design for all of their concepts. So now the first conversation that shows up, I think it's a wealth of information. I really enjoyed reading this book because everybody, like as you talked about, 19 different amazing, brilliant people have come together and put together what they've known, what they've worked on, what they've put in practice. So you get so much of wealth of information and application, in details about how you get to do this in different realms. But before we get into that, why a coaching culture is important in companies.
Well, to simply say, let's at first define what culture is. It's like you and I are Iranian. We're born in Iran and we love our culture. There's a certain food, there is a certain music, there is a certain traditional attire, traditional behavior, norms, expected behavior, and dialogues that make us being an Iranian living in the United States or Europe. Business culture or corporate culture is literally the same thing. Series of norms, series of expected behavior or unexpected attitudes that create this culture that people are working in. That being said, they bring their own culture from their own background, from their own upbringing, from their own education, from different state coming to different state working. Suddenly there is much of, I call it like mini cultures come to this bigger culture. And if the top organization executives and senior manager not being careful, it will be out of control, especially on the much larger dimension culture organization, which is working in different countries. Now, every country, every branch of this organization in different country have different cultures. Why organizations should create one culture, not culture linking to individual background, history, or upbringing, or their ethnicity, versus culture of what this country, this organization is about. So you can have whatever culture you traditional or belong to your country or religion or upbringing you have is yours. Nobody touched that. But this company is about this vision, is about this mission, is about having this principled values. Having that as a strategy, I get hired in this organization. I walk in during onboarding process that HR handles. They hand me the welcome package that literally start who we are as a vision of the company and who and what we do related to our vision is our mission. And these are the set of values and principles we are working from. It's like a statement you open in the newspaper, you see the top title of the breaking news, right? It hits you. This is what this company about. And then organization can establish processes, procedures, and the attitude of how we get things done inside that framework of that culture. So nobody could question it. Believe me, people test the water because they can't help, especially people with experience. Imagine you work for this company for 10 years, you get used to a certain system, procedures, or expectations, and you bring it here to the new company, and they said, no, we don't do this. Most people say, well, we always did it that way. Where I come from, always did it that way. That is the break. That's a break into the culture. So why organization culture? Because without that would be chaos. Without that, there would be a lot of time for managing behavior and mindset and managing procedures. It's like when you go into your Persian friends for dinner, you have certain expectation, you know how the things will go.
Right.
What to serve, because it's called culture, because we expect it, we know it's coming, it's norm. So it take harder, longer for people who are spending more time in different culture, coming try to fit in the new organizational culture. So it's much easier for the new hire from college because they have no experience.
Right. Well, we have different angles of that. So one is if the management changes, and for example, they bring a higher management or executive, like a a president from another company, obviously the president who comes from another company kind of comes in with their own culture. And sometimes you see them come in and they fire everybody who was there from the old culture of this company and bring their own crew and group that comes in and changes the culture completely. Or you have, such as you said, other people who are coming from other organizational cultures into a company and they have to adapt because they don't have necessarily the option or the authority to change the culture per se. So they'll come in and, like you said, they test the water, but ultimately they have to adapt to the bigger culture of this organization. This book is not only about the organizational culture, but it also talks about the coaching culture within that organization. So let's delve a little bit about what do you mean by a coaching culture within an organizational culture?
What we meant by this, it means using the process of coaching, professional coaching, to establish the culture and assist individuals to form their mind around the culture. Because it's as you know, as a psychologist, resistance is one of the first things somebody would do when you show him something new. You shall do this. Oh, I always done this way. Or they said yes, but they do it their way anyway, right? So what can an organization adopt as a standard, as a background, like a wallpaper that covers everything, right? As a tool to use. And we find coaching very effective. Coaching, there's a new terminology called manager as a coach. So some organizations hire somebody like us to go and train and develop certain managers in each department to be a coach. Because obviously it will be very expensive if they want to have an outside coach come and be there 24/7. So coaching been used as a tool. As you know, you're a coach yourself. Professional coaching have many models, many different methods of delivering the coaching. And for this book particularly, we promote ontological inquiry coaching, emotional intelligent coaching, because every single human being in that organization dealing with their emotions, positive psychology coaching, which is hand to hand with the appreciative inquiry coaching, can make a difference. In the organization development industry, there is two models of approach. One is ARM, action research model, which is more precisional and a step-by-step method, and appreciative inquiry coaching, which is help people through that steps and process to be present to their own greatness, to greatness of what organization provide and what organization can do. So coaching in this framework is a tool, is an approach, which is unfortunately most of senior management themselves are not available. So in this book, we talk about, I think it's chapter 3, working with organization leaders. How you get organization leaders to see the wisdom and benefit of using such a tool as a coaching for their organization. If I had $1 each time I heard an executive, senior executive of a company says, we don't need these mumbo jumbos. These are all fluffy, feeling talks. So, no, it take me a lot of patience and empathy to bring them down from the cloud and explain to them how the coaching works with the individuals.
And unfortunately, if you don't handle the fluff, you're not going to be able to get any motivation for any behavior, because people, like you said, not only they come from another organization culture where they've learned, but they also come from the family culture.
Oh, absolutely.
Each person who comes into an organization, they already come in with some sort of idea about how to deal with authority, right? Like they'll either rebel the authority, or they want to prove to the authority, or they want to be the best child to the authority. That, so, and then they'll have sibling rivalry concepts, and they have a different way of, if they're the authority to their subordinates, how, do they handle power? How do they use or abuse or manipulate, their power in a different way? So you can imagine each individual coming in with their own way of doing. Plus, like you said, if, for example, they were raised in a family that they had family business, their world comes in and it's like a completely different culture about how they were a part of the ownership of a family business, so how they deal with it. Or they went and maybe like worked as a teenager in McDonald's or Starbucks or somewhere where systematically they got trained in corporate world, and then they come in to these large organizations. And as you say, each person brings their own way of being. And if the leaders of the corporation are not subscribing to a particular culture, and they don't know how to train, facilitate, and land the culture for all of these people in a similar way, you're right that each person is going to end up doing their own thing. And then you create chaos if you're not handling their ways, their emotions, their thought process, their belief system, and learn how to align them to come together toward the alignment of the bigger vision and the mission.
Exactly. So imagine a team of 10 people, as simple as that. A team of 10 people working in this department. 10 different belief systems, 10 different years of experience, 10 different upbringing, or even religious belief or management belief. Imagine the stew that we're going to be, and how hard it's going to be for a team leader or foreman or supervisor to manage that. I always use these simple but significant examples when I'm talking to managers. I say, here the example, a sample of how coaching will work. If a employee making a mistake is so common, the manager will say, why you did that, right? How? And I tell them, okay, what do you think will be possible response? What do you think will be a state of mindset and a state of being for the labor, for the worker, employee to hear why you did this? Obviously resistance, obviously feeling of betrayed, threatened. Oh, I'm just going to get fired, or creating immediate space between them. They don't want to talk. Mostly they say, I don't know. Now, how about if you ask the question, when you did this, what you were thinking, what you were trying to accomplish? This way, that labor or that employee start explaining themselves. Maybe that was a procedural mistake. Maybe that was a process mistake. Or maybe simply they don't know, nobody trained them. But who will come and say, listen, boss, I don't know. They just hire you and you got to go say, you don't know. That doesn't work either. So there is maybe I should use this word, procedures that need to get done during onboarding a new employee or training and developing existing employees on entire procedures or that organization gotta provide space and resources such as time and money for the managers and supervisors to create these standard procedures. In the book, we talk about different levels of providing coaching for individuals, which is in this particular context, it will be senior managers and middle managers. Because if they don't practice the disciplines of coaching, everything falls apart. And this is not a 1 month thing. This is a year, 2 or 3 years of being there, engaging the organization, right? to get this culture implemented. And then bring in a group coaching, team coaching for departmental section, and then the whole organization. And they call it a big system. Yes.
Part of how I understand you say the coaching, and it's written in this book, is it's no longer about I will tell you what it is and how to do it and just kind of like hold you accountable in a way of scolding you. It's more about an inquiring.
Yes.
That although there's, we have set goals, we know where we're going, we're going to be aligned about that. The company has goals, the departments have goals, and so we all kind of, get aligned with that. However, as we're going day by day, week by week toward these goals, that if there are, they're inquiring ways of checking to see the system where if it's working, how is it that it's working? And if it's not working, how is it that it's not working?
Yes.
Bringing that person, each individual in any realm, into a system where they're interested in inquiring concept, and their relationship together is not only like a top to down, do this or else. It's not an authoritative concept. It is more of exploring how, not why, how and what, and then taking that into the next level. So obviously the leaders, the management does it another way. The talent management or the HR does it a particular way. And then within and among the teams, it happens in another way. Is that what I'm getting from you?
Exactly. So this is a great conversation, because the first question that we opened, what is the culture of organization in the background of their vision, mission, and principal values, right? So we might use different method of coaching as long as inside this framework. Inside. Yes, Mr. X might do this procedure different way, and Mrs. Y do the same procedure in different way, right? But they get to the same exact point that the organization wants. Now let's talk about this is being, who they are being while they're working. That is where the coaching can make a difference, because coaches don't know the concept of doing. You put me in front of big machine, I don't know how the machine works, and it's not my job. My job is to find out why this in particular employee or team keep failing on this process, right? 2022, Dr. Rodler and I published a book called High Performance Coaching for Managers, How to Manage High Performance. That book was 90% about directive coaching versus non-directive coaching. Where we talk here is a non-directive coaching, not inquiry, as you said, right? Directive coaching is mostly is about tell them what to do, right? If I bring a new welder, just got their welding certification, or new accountant to the company, we tell them what to do. Here's the procedure, here's the expectation, here A, B, C, D, E, F, do it this way. It's about telling, it's about not opening the inquiry versus just do this. Non-directive coaching in this book is about inquiry, opening discussion. How do you feel about this? Why, what kind of mindset you had that you do this? What other procedures you think will be effective? And traditionally, directive coachings are expert matter on the subject. Non-directive coaching is not necessarily expert matter. So if the accountant, you said, what do you know about accounting? I said, nothing. But I know the way you handling today, who you are being is angry. Who you're being is short and impatient. I see people come to ask you a question, they like walk over eggshells. What's going on? For that, I don't need to be expert in accounting. So you are absolutely correct. This book is most about how managers start having an inquiry, having questions that open doors. Speaking about questions, this book is full of different set of questions a manager or supervisor can ask in all the trends of the coaching that is available.
I think it's beautiful to support the leaders from whether they're top management, mid management, in creating this concept of I care about you, which you called it the being of another person. I care about you, and I want to know what you know, what you're used to, what can support you, what are your obstacles, and then based on that type of an inquiry to then lead you toward the common concept of the vision and mission and the goals and the way that this particular company moves forward. So somehow I'm meeting you where you are and then kind of guiding you back into what the common concept of the organization is. And I think that bringing the tools to give it to the organization where you have the ability not only to care, but also learn how to manifest this caring and creating the information, and for the person in any format, whether they're lower ranking or higher ranking, to start really exploring in what part of this organization and what part of the culture of this organization they can fit into, coming from where they are already.
Yes.
And fitting into, it's almost like an acculturation process and then an assimilation process. The same way, you kind of migrate from one location to another. The same concepts happen as you migrate into a system and you're trying to kind of get involved and make yourself comfortable into a system, which you have to do teamwork with others within a system to create results.
The best example I can give about this, which I talk about it in the very first chapter, is the metaphor of a tree, a strong tree. 100% of the time, when we look at tree, where we look first, when it comes to our vision first is all the branches and all the leaves, right? Wow, what a beautiful tree. Oh, wow, this is a dead tree because there is no leaves on it, right? But then that is where people pay attention to say what this company is about or not. A smaller organization, family, observer look at what they see on the surface, the relationship between parents and children, relationship between children and parents, children with each other, or them with a stranger who walk in. They don't look at the culture, they don't look at the trunk, right? And the root. Nobody sees the roots. And that is where vision, mission, principle of the company is, that hold it very much strongly together. And then the trunk is the procedures and the processes and the standards. And the branches is all individuals, teams, groups, departments. And the leaves are attitudes, behavior, mindset that is all over the place for every individual, right? So as a manager, isn't my job to manage every single leaf, to make sure manage every single mindset? Maybe I should go down to the procedures and to the standards to make sure something solid is there that people can hang their hat on. They can hang their leaves on. Okay, yes, I can be Iranian, raised in Iran, coming to the United States and working in this company that headquarters is in Ireland, but they are in Michigan. Now, suddenly you're talking about 4 different cultures, right? And, even in the United States, the culture in Michigan is different from Texas, is different from California, right? When I moved to Pennsylvania, 2010, they call me Cali boy. What? What's Cali boy? California boy. Where do you come from? San Diego. After 20 years, Oh, now I know how you think. Oh, really? Will you really tell me you know what I think because I came from San Diego? So I always tell managers, especially supervisors, who they are in first-hand direct intervention with floor employees, right? Is don't get hooked in how they say something or how they do something or how they think. Establish rapport by showing respect, by asking questions, right? Maybe that was the best line ever I heard in Ted Lasso. You remember when he played darts? Nobody asked questions. Everybody assumed. We do that. You and I do that. And the first thing is there's a certain level of judgment about someone or something, right? Somewhere I read we make 14 different judgment about someone as soon as we see them. The height, the color, the race, the jewelry, the size, the dimension, what to wear, what kind of watch they wear, what kind of jewelry they wondering out. Are they married? Oh, I want to see their ring. All these things come in a split second. Now, a supervisor who work with 20 people, 10 people, 30 people, you think they don't have that? But establishing rapport, building respect, building relationship, opening communication, creating a safe environment is the first thing for we to understand where these beautiful leaves come from. And people,
you're talking about one element of it, which is the beginning of an employee coming and getting acculturated to the company organization. There's also this other angle, which is, as people stay for months or years, a lot of their innate character also shows up. I mean, we work with each other 8 hours, 10 hours per day. So your personality and all of these different personalities are showing up, and they somehow also from, the leader in the management position, we got to manage all these personalities together because they're all coming at the same time, working in teams to, foster a certain amount of results and production and all of it. So part of the coaching culture is also handling everybody's unique and beautiful personalities, which sometimes they cooperate and they're similar and they work together, and sometimes they kind of create the opposite with each other.
yes.
So it's also this element of how to delicately bring all of these together into a collaboration space versus just, a place that people are creating cutthroat competition with each other and not allowing the organization to move. And you don't feel safe that way. You said one of the first concepts is when you're working somewhere day in and out, to feel safe, to have the ability that I, as who I am, matters. And I can be myself where I'm here, although I'm, kind of like adapting to flow with other people, but I get to be me while I flow with others. So this concept of the coaching, it's so important because you also take the individual uniqueness into account from a perspective of the leadership as it moves toward the team and builds the team from the concept of, taking the diversity, the inclusion, the personality, all of those. Because sometimes we look at diversion and equality in a way of different races, but you also got it same race. You still got different personalities that are showing up together.
Yes. On the beginning of the last segment, you were talking about inquiry, correct? And as soon as you said inquiry, give people option for inquiry, came to my mind the concept of autonomy. In this day and time, we as a professional coaches highly promote managers to give autonomy to people, teaching them how to inquire into their knowledge. You bring in this accountant, use this example of same accountant, even welder. So I put two different concepts of technical and then conceptual together, right? Accounting have certain main characteristics. Same as welding. I'm using welding because I used to be a welder in Iran in early years when I came to the United States. Boss, do you want me to use MIG welding for this or TIG welding for this, or you want me to stick welding? Do you want me to use 220 power or single phase power? These are the main elements. But the way I was welding these was different from my buddy next station. The way he was welding was different. When you were looking at them, you could tell, oh, this is Behnam's work, and this is such and such work, because their style was different. But bottom line, the gas was not leaking. He passed the test and is working well, right? And owner is happy. Accountant, you have to have a balance. Simple thing. You have to have books up to balance, right? How you do it, you do it. If you have a question, come to me and ask. When you give people that power of autonomy, you're building them up. You're empowering them. You're lifting them. Now they don't feel like a piece of the puzzle who have to keep reporting to somebody who might not respect for any reason, might feel incompetent. That's why they don't want to ask questions, right? All these things come into, if they know they are valued, the concept of autonomy works well. And concept of reporting, communicating the breakdown, when to communicate before the fact versus after the fact. All these things creating inside the culture. That's why sometimes the terminology culture shock, right? We had it when I came from Iran after 29 years in Los Angeles. It was a culture shock. The whole different things, especially when I walk in the Sunset Boulevard. You kidding me? So that culture shock is in the organizations that the managers and supervisors have to be wary of.
Absolutely. So everyone, please get the book. This book is for managers, is for leaders of the company. It's for anyone who actually has a business and really loves to learn this concept, building an organization, building an organizational coaching culture, creating effective environments for growth and success in organizations, by Dr. Behnam Bakhshandeh and Dr. William Rothwell. And it has 19 other authors. This is a wealth of information. Dr. Bakhshandeh, anything we haven't shared that you really, really want people to know? Is
your vision, is your mission, not your employees, until you share with them. I'm saying that especially for small family businesses, that you have a certain culture that comes from your commitment to your business. But people who you're hiring, even family members, they don't have that commitment. For you to share what you see is possible is to share your vision and the company's mission with them and make them be part of it, not outside looking in versus bringing them in, looking out with you.
Beautiful. Absolutely. Thank you so much for all that you do. I think that you are one of the authors that I know and professionals that pumps those wonderful, very detailed. I want everybody to know, if you've ever read any of Dr. Bakhshandeh's work, very, very detailed. He gives you the tools a step at a time, clarifies each terminology, clarifies the steps, and even, you know, with all of the other authors who are working with him, he creates that concept. So you'll gain a lot from any of these books. And I have the privilege of also having a book that's coming up the end of this year with you, bringing the organizational development and your expertise in combining it with the awareness integration theory and bringing the individual level and how an individual in any of these organizations can really bring their best.
I am very much looking forward to it, because from some of the personal work I did with you, your mindful theory awareness integration theory and practices had a direct impact on my own life. And then when I we talk about it, how could we mix this so other people use it? Especially because my work majority is in organization, and how could we bring integration, awareness integration model to organization development, use it as a coaching tool to make a difference?
Yes.
And
because you take yourself everywhere. Like you don't, although people think so, but it doesn't happen in reality that I leave every part of me outside of the door of a company the minute I walk into the company. I bring all of me, and every
fantasy. Yep.
Every part of me is there. And if I'm not aware of it, if I'm not accountable for it, responsible for it, it's going to leak all over the place, the same way the work goes back and leaks everywhere else in my system. So I'm so excited about bringing these two together. And obviously, then we'll come back here and talk about it. Thank you so much for taking the time and sharing all of this with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time. Looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely. And for all of you who are out there, create an amazing life for yourself and everyone around you. And until next week, bye-bye.
Are you a psychotherapist looking to enhance your practice? The Awareness Integration Therapy developed by Dr. Foojan Zeine is a comprehensive guide to the principle and techniques of this powerful therapeutic approach. Join the growing community who have elevated their practice and expanded their skills by embracing Awareness Integration Therapy and witnessing its life-changing impact. Order your copy on Amazon now.
Break free from the forces holding you back. Get the life you deserve. Eliminate stress, reduce anxiety, decrease depression, and start living your full potential. Thousands have used Dr. Foojan Zeine's Awareness Integration Theory, an evidence-based behavioral health breakthrough with incredible life-changing results. Getting rid of past trauma, having fulfilling relationships, increasing earnings, and living their best life. Now, the Foojan app is available to everyone. The app is Dr. Foojan Zeine's Awareness Integration Theory in the palm of your hand. Download the Foojan app today.